Days of Our Lives, spoilers for the next 2 weeks, March 30th to April 10th, reveal that fans will see urgent pleas, drastic action, fierce face-offs, and plenty of family drama. So let's dive in and discuss what's coming up. During the week of March 30th and April 3, Kate Roberts Brady and Xander Kyriakis will move forward with the last place of their plagiarism trap, involving Bonnie Kyriakis' book and Johnny DiMera's decision to greenlight it. Philip Kyriakis will think this is a stroke of luck, and will tell Maggie Kyriakis that they can use the lawsuit money for their next loan payment. That's what Xander and Kate had in mind all along. But how long will they be able to keep their scheme under wraps? Regardless, Johnny will ask EJ DiMera to put his lawyer skills to good use again and help him wiggle out of this jam. Once Rachel Black points the finger at Sophia Choi for the pill switch, Brady Black will spill that to Holly Jonas and Tate Black. Since Sophia was apparently able to convince her doctors that she was ready to be released, she'll be out of Bayview and ready for another round of DOOL chaos. Amy Choi will push Sophia to just catch up with her family at home, but Sophia will insist on going out and stirring up trouble at the pub. Days spoilers say Kristen DiMera will spot Sophia eventually and put her on full blast for dragging Rachel into her twisted plans. Since Stephanie Kyriakis will decide she needs to see Owen Kent one last time, Jada Hunter will arrange for them to speak in the Salem PD interrogation room. That'll give Stephanie a chance to slam Owen for all the misery he put her through, but she'll make it clear that he didn't break her and that she won't let him destroy her life. At the Horton house, Julie Williams will urge JJ Devereaux to get some therapy to deal with the issues he's been wrestling with. JJ quit his job at the police department, but Julie will feel like he needs to dive deeper and try to get some help. As for Chanel Dupree DiMera, Days spoilers say she'll put Paulina Price through a grilling session and wonder if Paulina has something to get off her chest. Paulina may keep her mouth shut about Lexi Carver, but the cat will be out of the bag soon when it comes to Theo Carver, since EJ will reunite him with his revived mom in the DiMera tunnels. Once Theo gets past the shock, he'll grab EJ by the lapels and demand answers. Theo may wonder if this is some sort of sick game, but EJ will assure him that he's pulled off a miracle with the help of Dr. Wilhelm Rolfe. After Sean Brady rejects Belle Black's offer to move in with him, she may get a little weirded out over his decision to move in with Jada instead. Sean will get settled in Jada's place by the time the week of April 6 to 10 gets underway. Living with Jada will obviously bring him closer to Jada as they head down a romantic road. In the meantime, Theo will have to decide what he'll do with his new Lexi information. It's tough to imagine Theo keeping this news from Abe Carver, so he may blab to his father and insist he saw Lexi with his own eyes. Abe may demand to see Lexi next and eventually find out Paulina has been sitting on this secret. That could bring some trouble in Paulina and Abe's marriage before Lexi even becomes a real factor. Of course, Lexi will indeed awaken at some point, so she's sure to be confused and in need of some answers of her own. Back with Sophia, Days spoilers say she may make some desperate moves to avoid going back to Bayview after her pill swap comes to light. Could Sophia consider grabbing baby Trey DiMera and leaving town? Sophia definitely doesn't want Johnny and Chanel to raise her biological son, so she might decide to raise him herself or find him a new home elsewhere. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Sophia will make more messes, so stay tuned. Days of Our Lives spoilers are in for the week of March 30th, 2026. Fans can expect Steve Johnson to issue an apology. Chanel Dupree DiMera questions Paulina Price. Plus, Brady Black confronts Rachel Black about the skincare supplements. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Tate Black and Holly Jonas. They have figured out that the skincare supplements were replaced with antipsychotics. For those that do not know, when a sane person is given antipsychotics, it tends to make them more psychotic, not calmer. Unfortunately, it is the same medication that Rachel is on. So, she is going to get accused by Brady. Will she tell her father that Sophia Choi is actually responsible? This can't go in Rachel's record at Bayview, as the judge will review it later on. Later in the week, it sounds like the truth finally comes out. Kristen DiMera rips into Sophia as Tate and Holly feel vindicated. Over with Chanel, she will be thrilled that the adoption is finalized. Chanel will meet up with her mother. However, Chanel ends up questioning Paulina. Will the woman tell Chanel the truth about her secret, or could she try to change the subject? Days of Our Lives, spoilers for the week of March 30th, reveal that Steve will give Jeremy Horton an apology. However, by Tuesday, Owen Kent provokes both Jeremy and Alex Kyriakis. As for what else to expect, Belle Black reassures Marlena Evans. Stephanie Johnson opens up to Chanel. By Friday, though, Stephanie confronts her kidnapper. Kate Roberts Brady pulls a fast one on Johnny DiMera. Later, Johnny turns to EJ DiMera for help. Of course, EJ will be more than happy to offer his help to Johnny. However, I'm not sure if Chanel will be as thrilled. Justin Kyriakis tries to reason with Bonnie Lockhart Kyriakis. Fans will also see Leo Stark write about his heartache. Will this be a private diary, or could Leo publish it? Over with Julie Williams. She encourages JJ Devereaux to get some help. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of March 30th, 26? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives, spoilers and updates indicate that EJ DiMera believes he has made significant progress in his pursuit of immortality, yet he might face an unexpected reality check. Although EJ's experiment has been successful thus far, the future could hold dire consequences. Paulina Price has chosen not to terminate the experiment, as she cannot deny Abe Carver and Theo Carver's opportunity to bring Lexi Carver back. However, Paulina is deeply worried about EJ's God complex and his belief that he can control everything. Dr. Wilhelm Rolf has achieved a remarkable advancement thanks to Versavix and his peculiar abilities. But what will occur once Lexi regains consciousness? This storyline in Days seems to suggest that EJ and Lexi's family should be cautious about what they desire. Lexi's awakening will lead to some emotional reunions, but let's explore at least 3 potential pitfalls of EJ's ambitious plan. To begin with, fans of DOOL are well aware that EJ is venturing into uncharted medical waters in this situation. It's impossible to predict with certainty how the combination of Versavix and any other treatments Lexi is receiving will impact her in the long run. The resurrection formula created by Dr. Rolf might bring about some dreadful side effects for Lexi, whether sooner or later. These adverse effects could serve as the initial warning signs when this storyline in Days shifts from a happy narrative to one that serves as a cautionary tale. Lexi may undergo some dramatic shifts in her personality, which presents yet another potential issue to consider. While Lexi is set to awaken, the question remains, will she truly be the same Lexi that Abe, Theo, and the rest of the Salem community cherish so much? With the character of Lexi now being portrayed by Nikki Crawford, it opens the door for Days to explore any changes in her personality and the chaos that could ensue. There's even a possibility that Lexi could take a darker turn if Dr. Rolf has amplified her most troubling DiMera tendencies. Can you imagine Lexi turning into a psychotic monster and the effects it would have on everyone? Nikki Crawford is set to be present for just a few months, which serves as yet another sign that Lexi's narrative could take a heartbreaking turn. What if the ultimate conclusion of the experiment reveals that cheating death is an impossible feat? Lexi may once again confront a dire destiny, leaving both Abe and Theo heartbroken. Although EJ might return Lexi to them, he will find himself powerless to manage the situation if her health declines and she ultimately succumbs once again. Not to mention what it does to Lexi, dying a slow and painful death. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for March 30th, April 3rd, 2096, tease the aftermath of Marlena's tough decision about Rachel's care. Marlena visited Leo in the hospital, and he confided in her about his feelings for Javi and Dimitri. EJ visited Stephanie in the hospital, where he assured her he knew nothing about her kidnapping, and she was hesitant to believe him. Later, EJ learned that Jada was getting a search warrant for the secret room and blackmailed Paulina into stopping it. Alex overheard Stephanie and Jeremy telling each other they wouldn't have gotten through without the other. Kat updated Rafe on what's going on between her and EJ. Ari kept Liam hidden in her dorm, but when Gabby showed up, the two lied about him being a student. Later, when Ari asked Liam to read the manuscript for her, he faked being able to read it. Just as Rachel gave Brady her blessing to date Sarah, Sarah confided in Maggie about her feelings for both Brady and Xander. Philip learned that Vivian was dead, and Xander offered him a moment of comfort. When Holly and Tate hopped into bed, Tate admitted he was having trouble, then flipped out at her before realizing that the skin supplements could be causing their strange behavior. Later, Sarah got Holly's blood results, and they learned she has antipsychotic meds in her system. Tate wondered if Rachel could have switched out her meds from Bayview with the skin supplements. Brady told Marlena about Rachel and the meds. Kristen risked prison time for recanting her confession at Rachel's hearing, but went through with it. EJ paid Liam a visit in Ari's dorm and subtly took credit for eliminating Vivian. Later, when Liam found out Ari was related to both Damaris and law enforcement, he bolted. Gwen visited Leo, and the two swapped jabs. Despite Kristen's arguing, Rachel admitted to shooting EJ. EJ took the stand and attempted to save Rachel, but when it was Marlena's turn, she admitted she believed Rachel still belonged in Bayview. JJ confided in Theo about freezing and Sean getting shot. When Sean admitted to Jada that he felt uncomfortable going home with Belle, she offered to let him stay with her. Later, JJ arrived to turn in his badge and admit the truth to Jada, who became furious at both of them. When Johnny and Chanel arrived for Trey's adoption hearing, Melinda brought in Sophia to speak. Sophia testified that Johnny and Chanel are not fit to raise her son, but the judge disagreed. When the judge sentenced Rachel back to Bayview, Kristen tore into Marlena. Later, Brady revealed to Kristen what they think Rachel did with Holly's supplements. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the March 30th, 26 episode tease the beginning of the end of Sophia's latest scheme, while Days of Our Lives spoilers for March 30th reveal that Brady will demand answers from Rachel. Tate and Holly will begin putting the pieces together after this meds mix-up. Tate and Holly discuss the medication situation, made the hard choice no one else would for Rachel. Tate and Holly come to a realization. Tate comforts Holly. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of March 30th, 2026. It shows Sophia Choi continuing tormenting Holly Jonas and Tate Black. Titan can't pay the next loan installment. Plus, Theo Carver sees EJ DiMera with Lexi Carver's body. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start from the beginning. First up in the preview clip is Bonnie Lockhart Kyriakis. Bonnie is sitting in the Kyriakis living room with her husband. With a pile of her books on the table, Bonnie excitedly asks Justin Kyriakis what he thinks. Justin nervously admits that it reminds him a lot of Stephanie Johnson's book. Fans know that Titan has been in crisis for quite a while. Maggie Horton Kyriakis got a loan to save the company. However, it also means if Maggie isn't successful, they will lose the house. That estate is part of Victor Kyriakis' legacy. In a preview clip, Philip Kyriakis warns Maggie that Bonnie could be their saving grace. Philip adds that right now, Titan can't make the next loan payment. However, with the book being too similar to Stephanie's, there could be a lawsuit. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for the week of March 30th, reveal that the preview clip also shows Sophia is free. The girl walks confidently into Brady's pub. The lady strolls right past Tate and Holly's table. The girl says, "Oh, hey Tate, Holly." Then, she continues walking past. However, it seems that Brady Black has already alerted Tate and Holly to Rachel Black's intel, so maybe they will turn the tables on Miss Sophia. Over at the police station, Stephanie Johnson gets to confront her kidnapper. Steve Johnson and Alex Kyriakis watch from outside the interrogation room. However, Stephanie closes the blinds as Jada Hunter unlocks the handcuffs. What is Stephanie going to do to Owen? And what does it mean for Jada's future? Over with EJ, he stands over Lexi's body, which is still in the pod. Theo suddenly walks in and says, "Mom?" EJ doesn't seem alarmed, so he must have summoned Theo down there. However, what is EJ's ultimate goal? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of March 30th, 2026? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that DOOL icon, Deidre Hall, recently received a shout-out from Ryan Gosling in an appearance on the Happy Sad Confused podcast. Gosling recalled Deidre's original possession storyline and how amazed he was by praising the show was an incredible acting class. Hall shared the interview on her social media and issued an invitation to Gosling that he eagerly accepted. "Deirdre Hall, are you kidding me? Yes! This is a very enthusiastic yes to a very cordial invitation to visit you on set," Gosling said. This was posted on his longtime partner, Eva Mendes' Instagram, since he doesn't have his own account. Gosling seemed very pleased that Hall would make such an overture. Gosling went on to say, "I will be there to thank you in person for being my OG acting inspiration. It wasn't Marlon Brando in On the Waterfront, it wasn't in Taxi Driver, it was you, and I want to thank you for your offer. Anytime, anywhere. You tell me, I'll be there." Gosling was thrilled that Hall responded. "I also want to thank Josh Horowitz for making this happen in some way. He's kind of a magical guy, even though he obviously doesn't know what he doesn't know, but he knows now or he's gonna know," Gosling gushed, saying this would not have happened without the shout-out to Days of Our Lives. Gosling says that soap actors do not get the love they deserve, referring to Hall's impossible scenarios. "Or it's like, somebody's dead, and now they're back, and then they're a different actor," he said. "What's amazing is I remember that, thinking, God, Deirdre Hall is a great actress because she's having to act possessed right now. That just seems like a lot to ask of her." Now that Deirdre has issued her invitation and Ryan has accepted, it seems to be a given that a cameo appearance is in the works. After all, a visit from such a celebrity cannot go unnoted. Days has welcomed some iconic stars over the years, including Dick Van Dyke, Jackie Harry, Marla Gibbs, Tion Watkins, Betty White, and more. Gosling seems to the next in line into appear. And if this cameo happens, fans will be thrilled. Who would you want Ryan to play if does appear on the show? Are you surprised that Deirdre invited him to visit after his shout-out? Perhaps Deirdre could show Ryan some footage of her last possession in Salem as well. Days of Our Lives had everything this past week. Courtroom tension, suspiciously selective honesty, Leo Stark treating dialogue like an Olympic event, and at least one back alley that still looks like it's been using the same fog machine since 2007. If nothing else, consistency is alive and well, even if decision-making isn't. So, let's dig into the week that was in Salem. EJ continues to operate as if he has two completely separate operating systems, neither of which communicates with the other. On one hand, he insists he had no idea Stephanie and Jeremy were being held in a secret lab. On the other hand, he casually told Dr. Rolfe that if they needed to be eliminated, we guess that he has to continue living these two lives so he doesn't get caught. Ari had been hiding Liam in her dorm room after Klaus tried to kill him. At one point, she steps out for what is apparently the world's most suspiciously timed supply run, giving EJ just enough room to glide in like a well-dressed nightmare, inform Liam that everyone who could have protected him is conveniently dead, and gently imply that the only thing keeping him alive is how well he behaves going forward. And yet, EJ was nice to Johnny and Chanel, helping them secure the adoption. The real question is EJ intentionally unraveling, or is he slowly losing command over his own story? Then there's Rachel, who did what Sophia asked her to. She not only pinched Marlena for no reason other than schadenfreude, but also fell for Sophia's story and gave Holly the psych meds disguised as skincare supplements, and Tate unwittingly took them, leading to a bad reaction. Things are going to get worse for her and might not improve unless she owns up to her actions and disowns Sophia as a friend. And speaking of things spiraling, Belle suddenly being in the crosshairs for prosecutorial misconduct opens a door that could swing very wide, very quickly. If her judgment is compromised, and let's be honest, it's looking a bit shaky, what does that mean for every decision she's made so far? When Marlena noticed that Leo was acting differently, Kayla explained, "Leo has a grade 2 concussion, so he's a little emotionally labile." I like learning new words, and labial is one of them. To be emotionally labile means to experience fast, really intense and uncontrollable mood swings, or in Leo's case, jumping from one absurd simile to an even more absurd simile in the blink of an eye. Leo is always full of pop culture mentions, And they were plentiful again this week when he made it back to Salem from Alemania. After discussing Dmitri, Marlena notes that he sounds like he could hurt someone. Leo hilariously responded, "Well, yeah. I mean, he was a super spy, like James Bond. Only he's terrible at card games. For the woefully uninitiated, created by novelist Ian Fleming in 1953, James Bond is a fictional British Secret Service officer, codenamed 007, and possessing a license to kill, who serves as a suave, ruthless, and highly skilled secret agent in a long-running series of international spy novels and films." As Leo and Marlena continued talking and wondered whether Dmitri had been lying, Leo said that if he was, that would have been a Daniel Day-Lewis level performance. Sir Daniel Day-Lewis is a British-Irish actor widely regarded as one of the greatest performers in film history, known for his intense method acting and selective film choices, which earned him a record 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor. After explaining that his deep-seated trust issues were merely factory settings for him, Marlena asked if his old feelings for Dmitri surfaced when he saved Leo from the sniper. Leo hilariously explained, "Oh, they didn't just come to the surface. They tap-danced to it, like Ginger Rogers. I asked her to stop. She did jazz hands and encores. It was terrifying." Ginger Rogers, who lived from 1911 to 1995, was a versatile American actress, dancer, and singer who became an icon of Hollywood's golden age, best known as Fred Astaire's leading dance partner in a series of revolutionary 1930s musicals, and as the Academy Award-winning actress for her role in Kitty Foyle. Brady, after the judge rules that Rachel must return to Bayview, stares absolute daggers through the back of Marlena's head, like he's trying to melt it with pure irritation. Then the shot cuts to him alone, eyes dark, still, almost black, like a great white shark. Not blinking, not softening, just waiting. It's the kind of shot that says everything without needing a single line. But it does seem odd that at any moment, Brady could turn on Marlena and disown her. He really needs to get a grip. Leo Stark did not come to play this week. He came armed. In his hospital bed, Marlena and Kayla come to check in on him, and as he and Dr. Evans have a happy exchange, he misinterprets the looks on their faces and reacts, "The way you're looking at me, my God, I can feel the disdain radiating off of you like an expensive cologne. Your side eye, it has its own gravitational pull." Kayla had to explain that Leo's concussion was making him wackier than usual. When Kayla said he was emotionally labile, Leo responded, "What I think you're saying is that my emotions are like jello on a trampoline. But you're wrong. I am the very definition of stable, emotionally anchored, mentally unshakable, spiritually moisturized." That last bit caused him to think for a moment about what he'd just said, so he continued, "Who am I kidding? I'm an absolute mess." He then begged Marlena for a hug. Talking to Marlena, Leo realized that Dmitri had the means, motive, and opportunity to disappear Vivian. He then stated, "Oh God, I need a martini. No, make it a lobotomy. No, make it a time machine so I can fast forward to when this nightmare is over." Sarah and Maggie had a nice conversation about Xander. Sarah explained that she would always love him, but resolved never to act on that again. She further explained, "I think if I can make peace with that, then I can move forward with my life and, I don't know, maybe find love with someone who's kind and dependable and not fighting homicidal impulses every other second." After Philip learned of Vivian's death, he and Xander had a nice conversation, and Philip realized that you can still love someone even if they've cheesed off everyone else in the world. Xander exited at the end of the conversation, and Philip's face in that moment deserves its own closing credits billing. It's not just a reaction, it's a full internal committee meeting happening behind his eyes. You can practically see the agenda: grief, confusion, and the reluctant acknowledgement that yes, this wildly unhinged woman did, in fact, love him, in the emotional equivalent of a house fire. Salem's shiny new suburban flyover looks like it was assembled by a committee of very optimistic real estate agents and one overly enthusiastic graphics card. Every lawn is suspiciously perfect. Every tree hits peak season as if it's auditioning for a calendar. It's all quiet streets, tidy driveways, and an almost aggressive sense of calm, like the entire neighborhood signed a contract agreeing not to acknowledge the chaos happening 5 minutes away. Meanwhile, cut to the back alley behind EJ's secret lab, and we're back in the show's natural habitat, a narrow corridor of perpetual fog that billows on cue as if it's getting paid scale. Yet somehow no one ever walks through it. It just exists. The contrast is almost poetic, really. On one side, Salem is pretending everything's fine. On the other, a haunted steam vent that knows exactly how not fine things actually are. Stephanie's hesitation when Alex tried to put the ring back on her finger felt off. Not dramatic, not explosive, just enough to make you wonder what's ticking under the surface. Marlena telling Kristen she essentially taught Rachel to lie and manipulate, and calling it emotional abuse, might be one of the most quietly brutal moments of the week. That's not just dialogue, that's a line that sticks with you long after the episode has aired. Johnny bringing EJ in to represent him and Chanel might actually be the smartest decision made all week, which says a lot considering the competition. Ultimately, EJ won it, and Johnny and Chanel legally adopted Trey. Days of Our Lives cleared the calendar on a few outstanding legal issues in Salem this week, including Rachel coming clean on shooting her uncle EJ. There was screen time for both Lorelai Olivia Moat as Rachel and Carole Foreman as Judge Dabney, who oversaw her case. Soap Central is finding both actresses guilty of delivering powerful scenes, earning them our Performers of the Week for Day's honors. Unlike some soaps where legal matters are swept under the rug or even ignored, Days made sure that Rachel Black, who pumped lead into her uncle EJ, had to answer for her actions. There was also the matter of her mom, Kristen, being cleared of shooting EJ as she had confessed to the action to keep her daughter out of the big house. Nobody's fingers in this case were clean. Kristen had committed perjury. Belle Black, Rachel's aunt, knew of her niece's guilt and kept mum. Foreman's Judge Dabney took a no-nonsense stance. She demanded accountability from everyone involved, not just from Rachel and Kristen, but Belle, too. She wasn't going to gloss over things and let the Dimera clan walk free, as it had so many times when Stefano pulled his shenanigans. Kristen could have found herself going back to prison for committing perjury, and Rachel could have been sent home with her dad, Brady. Neither of those things ended up happening, but we couldn't tell what Dabney's ruling was going to be until she made it. Foreman brings a great poker face to her role, which builds anticipation. Melinda Trask advised Kristen to quiet herself as Judge Foreman stated that she could easily send the Dimera villainess back to the big house for committing perjury. Too often, we see on soaps characters commit crimes all for the sake of the greater good, only to watch them face zero repercussions. Not in Foreman's chambers, that's for sure.